Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn about the recursion in the C programming language. Okay, so recursions are basically a part of the functions. A function that calls itself is called a recursion. Okay, a function normally there in the function there will be a calling function and called function. Okay, so when the function call is invoked, then the control will automatically pass to the called function, right? And the statements in that called function will get executed, and it will return something to the calling function. But here the calling function is itself present inside the same function. Okay, so a program allows you to call a function inside the same function. Okay, so the calling function is present in the called function itself. Okay, so it will be like a loop. It will repeat like a loop. Okay, a function is called recursive if a statement within the body of a function calls the same function. Okay, so if a statement within the body of a function calls the same function, then it will become a recursive function. Okay, and sometimes the recursion is also called as a circular definition. So it is also called as a circular definition because this function is calling itself repeatedly. Okay, and an exit or terminating condition must be defined, or else it will continue to an infinite loop. Okay, an exit or terminating condition must be defined in the recursive function, or else it may go to the infinite loop, because this function will be calling itself infinitely, okay, repeatedly. So if there is no breakpoint to break that repeated calls, then it will go to a infinite loop. Okay, so that's why we have to specify some terminating condition to break that loop. Okay, so normally in the recursion function, if else if else statement will be used. Okay, if you are using the if else statement, then it will break that infinite loop. So here we will check how the recursion function works. Okay, so here given the main function, and in the main function we are calling the recursion. Okay, so when the recursion gets invoked, then the control passes to the recursion, that calling function. Okay, so it is going to the calling, again having that recursion. Okay, so here the recursion is calling itself. Okay, so recursion is a part of the recursion function, the definition function. Okay, so a function is called recursive if a statement within the body of a function calls the same function again. Okay, so the recursion function is a statement of the that called function, right? Okay, so this statement is the body of the function that calls the same function, so that's why it is called as a recursion function. So here normally we are calling this recursion function from outside of that recursion function. So when it gets invoked, so in this body of these statements, so the called function will be having this number of statements, right? So in this set of statements we are having again the recursion function. Okay, so which is calling again itself. Okay, the statement within the body of a function calls the same function repeatedly here. Okay, so like this the recursion function will work. So now let us take a simple example of how the recursion works. So in the main, we are taking a main function. In the main function, so this is an example of recursion and main. Okay, so here the main function is again calling itself. Okay, and the statements will be executed. So it will execute the printf statement, again it will call itself. So it will call itself main function. So again the main function will get executed and the statements will get executed, and then again it will call the main function. So like this loop will repeat. Okay, and there is no breaking point to control this looping, right? So this will this loop will be repeating infinitely. Okay, if you execute this program, so the output will be in this format. So we will get the the statement in the printf, so once, twice, and thrice, like this. It will be infinite times. So it will the statement will get printed infinite times because we are calling the main function in continuously. Okay, so that's why, so we have to maintain a breaking point, or we have to maintain a terminating condition for the recursion function to come out of the loop. So before going to the recursion function factorial program, so first let us discuss about the non-recursive factorial program. Okay, so we know that the factorial of a number is the product of all the integers between the 1 and that particular number. Suppose I want the factorial of the number 3. Okay, I want to factorial of the number 3. Then I have to multiply the numbers between the 1 to 3. Okay, so normally the factorial means it is the product of all the integers between the 1 and the number we have given. Okay, so I want the factorial of the number 3. Then I have to multiply the numbers between 3 to 1. So 3 into 2 into 1. See, suppose I want to factorial of the 5. So then I have to multiply the numbers between the 5 to 1. 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So like this we have to multiply all the numbers if you want the factorial of 5. Similarly, if you want the factorial of 3, then we have to multiply all these numbers. So factorial of 3 will be 6 and factorial of 5 is 120. Okay, so like this we have to multiply the numbers. Okay, so normally the so 5 factorial means, so we have to multiply the numbers between 5 to 1, and 3 factorial means, so we have to multiply the numbers between 3 to 1. 2 factorial means we have to multiply the numbers 2 into 1. So like this we have to multiply the numbers. Okay, so before going to the recursion function, recursion factorial program, now let us discuss about the non-recursive factorial program. Okay, so here if you start from the main part of the program, so it is defined that int fact equals to 1. That means we have defined the variable fact equals to 1 and enter a number. So we will enter a number 3. Okay, so then check this for loop. So we have to execute this for loop. So I equals to 1 and the enter number is 3. So 1 is less than or equals to 3, which is true, and the condition is true here. So it will execute this particular statement, factorial equals to factorial into 1. So given that fact is 1 already. Okay, so it will take factorial equals to 1 into 1. Okay, so 1 into 1 it will take, so which is 1 only, right? So again it will check the for loop. So now the I value is incremented to 2. So 2 less than or equals to 3, which is true, right? So 2 less than or equals to 3 is true. So now the statement of fact equals to fact into I will be checked. So already fact equals to 1, right? F is 1. So now the I value is 2. So 1 into 2, which is 2. So factorial equals to 2. So again this for loop will execute. So now I is incremented to 3. So I equals to 3, 3 less than or equals to 3, which is true. Okay, and this statement will get executed, and fact equals to, so already factorial value is 2. So 2 into, so I value is 3. So 2 into 3, that is 6. Okay, so this is the factorial of the 3, the number that we have entered, and this it will print the factorial equals to 6. Okay, so this is how the non-recursive factorial program will work. Okay, and coming to the recursive factorial program. Okay, so what is the main difference between this factorial and non-recursive and recursive factorial program? So both are returning only the same answer, right? Okay, both will return only same answer, but here the code is simple and easy to read. Okay, easy to read and understand. Okay, the non-recursive factorial program, the code is it will be somewhat difficult, but the recursive factorial program is simple and very easy to read and understand. Okay, so here given a function factorial, so in factoring, if n equals to 1, return 1, or else return this one. Okay, so apply this expression and then return the fact to the main function. Okay, suppose I'm taking the factorial the value n as 3, so I'm passing the n value as 3 here. Then it will check this first if condition, it will check. Okay, so if n equals to 1, then return the 1. So but here the if condition has failed here because the 3 n value is 3, so it will go to the else part and it will check this one. So fact equals to n equals to 3, so 3 into factorial of n minus 1. So factorial of n minus 1, that means 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, so now, so this is a function again, so factorial of 2. So this, so it will again call itself, so it will again pass a call to the to its own function. Okay, so it will call again itself, and then so 3 into, so factorial of 2, so the now value n is 2. Okay, it will check the if condition here. So if n equals to 1, so it is not 1, right? So it is, the condition is false and it will go to the else part. So now fact equals to n into factorial of n minus 1. Okay, so here n value is 2, 2 into factorial of n minus 1. So factorial of n minus 1, that is 1. Okay, so factorial of n minus 1 is 1. Okay, so again this is a function, so factorial of 1. So it will again call itself to its own function, and now n value is 1. So it will check the if condition, n equals to 1, so it will return 1. Okay, so now it will return the value 1. So now 3 into 2 into 1 is 6, so which is the answer. So this is the factorial of 3. So like this you can perform the calculation of the any number factorially. Okay, now so we have seen how the recursion function works. So both the non-recursion and the recursive factorial program are returning the same value itself, but it is simple and easy to read and understand the recursive recursive function. Okay, so now let us see how to implement the recursion function in the format of stack. Okay, so normally if you are if you are entering any data, then the data will be stored in the format of the data structures like array, linked list, binary tree format, or stacks, queues. So in this format the data will be stored. So now let us see how the if you are using the recursion function, how the values or the parameters that we are entering through the program will be saved into the stack. Okay, so if you are entering some, if you are giving some input to the program, then it will be stored as a then that values will be pushed to the stack. Okay, so after performing the operation, the result will be popped out of the stack. Okay, so this is the stack here with the multiple number of rows. Okay, so now I want to find the factorial of 3. So now see how we'll perform the factorial of 3. So in the factorial of 3, so first it will push the, so 3 into factorial of 2. So because in the given code, so if the n value is not equals to 1, then it will go to the expression, right? So factorial equals to n into factorial of n minus 1, that is the formula. So here 3 into factorial of 2, n minus 1, that is 3 minus 1 is 2, right? So it will push that expression to the stack. Okay, so again here the factorial 2 will call itself. Okay, so again the control will pass to the factorial of 2. So here n is not equals to 1, so that's why it will go to the else part and it will it will return the n into n minus 1 format, right? So here 2 into n minus 1, that is so 2 into n minus 1, that is the factorial of 1 will be returned here. Okay, so now again the factorial 1 will call itself and it will return the value 1. Okay, so if n equals to 1, then the factorial 1 is 1 only, right? So it will return the value 1. Okay, so now it has taken all the inputs here. Okay, so now if you want the final result, then you have to pop out all the parameters from the stack. Okay, so now the final value is written here, that is 1. So 1 will be returned back to this expression. Okay, so now 1 will be written back to this expression. So now 2 into factor of 1 is 1, so 2 into 1 will become 2 here. Okay, so which will be written to this the previous expression, that is 3 into factor of 2. So now factor of 2 is 2. Okay, so now 3 into 2 will be done, that is 6. Okay, so like that it will return the value 6 to the user as the factorial of 3. Okay, so this is another method. So it may be difficult to perform the stack operation in the GATE exam or like that. So for that purpose we are taking this simple method. So here, so fact equals to 3 into factorial of 2. Okay, so now the factorial of 2 will be called, so it will return the 2 into factorial of 1, and factorial of 1 will return 1. Okay, so again this value is passed back to this expression. So factorial of 1 is 1, so 2 into 1 is 2, so factorial of 2 is 2 now, so 3 into 2 will be 6. Okay, suppose if you are going to give the input as 5. Okay, so factorial of 5, so for factorial of 5 written 5, that is n into n, so n into factorial of n minus 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. Okay, so 5 minus 1 is 4. So then again, so we have to, this function will call itself. Now 4 into factorial of n into factorial of n minus 1, that is 4 minus 1 is 3. So now again this function will call itself. Okay, so now n into, that is 3 into factorial of n minus 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. So again this will call itself. So factorial of 2 is 2 into factorial of 2 minus 1, right? So 2 into factorial of 1, so which is 1. So now this value will be written here. So 2 into 1 is 2, right? Okay, 2 into 1 is 2. So now, so this value will be written back to this previous function. Okay, so factorial of 2 is 2. So 3 into 2 is 6. So this value will be written back here. Okay, so now factorial of 3 is 6. So 4 into 6 is 24. Okay, so this value will be returned back to this. So factorial of 4 is 24. So 5 into 24 is 120. So now factorial of 5 is 120 here. So it will be returned to the main calling function. Okay, so this is about how the factorial recursion function works. Okay, so normally if you're not ending this recursion function, then it will go to the indefinite loop. Okay, so if the given recursion function goes to the indefinite loop, then all the parameters in the stack get filled. Okay, so then it may lead to a runtime error. Okay, so that's why make sure that if you are writing a recursion function, means you have to terminate that condition. You have to write a code for terminating that condition. If you are taking the recursion factorial function of the recursion, then in that one, so n equals to 1 return 1, that is the breaking point. Okay, so we are going to terminate the loop using this one. So like that you can terminate the condition. So this is about the recursion function, and thanks for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.